When a lending institution lends you the potential buyer money to purchase property, in most cases, the actual property is used as security if you cannot make repayments. Are you planning to get a bond? Please join me as we speak about 5 C's of credit that most lending institutions consider before they give you credit.
Every time I see your face, I know I've come to the right place. And every time I see you smile.
Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Piladi and thank you for joining me. Hit both the subscribe and the like button and leave me comments below. Research has shown that younger tenants between the age of 18 and 29 are concerned that they cannot afford to buy property. And around 50% of tenants in their 30s have also said they are afraid they cannot afford to buy property. But with the 5 consecutive repo rates cuts that went on last year, most people can now afford to purchase property. 5 consecutive repo cuts that occurred last year has resulted in a massive shift in affordability. Now buyers can afford to buy houses 30% more than they could at the beginning of 2020. Can you believe it? I mean, one now needs a salary of about 26,000 to afford a house just above a million. And you can partner with someone to make the 26,000. The repayment would be around 7,800. Comparing to the previous years where the prime lending was 10%, then a person with a salary of approximately 26,000 would afford around 800,000. So people are starting to acquire investments like property at a very young age. So if you've been looking, perhaps now could be the best time to purchase property. The 5 C's of credit is a system that is used by most lending institutions to gauge their potential borrowers. The first C that I'd like us to speak about is your credit record. Let's refer to it as your character. Your credit record is generated by the major credit bureaus like your TransUnion, your Experian, your Equifax. The lending institution uses your credit score to determine your credit history. The second C that I'd like to speak about is the capital. How much are you willing to put into your potential investment as a borrower? A higher initial amount of money paid by the borrower usually decreases the chance of default from the borrower. And in most cases, a higher down payment shows the seriousness of the borrower towards their investment. The second that I'd like us to speak about is your capital, the amount of money that you as a borrower has towards your investment. The higher the contribution of the borrower, the less risk of the borrower defaulting. A bigger down payment usually reflects how serious a borrower is into the investment. The third C that I'd like us to speak about is capacity. Capacity measures your debt to income ratio. So if you have a low debt to income ratio, you are of less risk to the lender. The fourth C that I'd like us to speak about is the collateral. What is a collateral? A collateral is an asset that the lender can use as security for the loan. So if you cannot make repayment, the lender will then use the asset to recoup their money. In most loans, the collateral is the actual object that you're borrowing the money for. Like if you're borrowing money to buy a car, if you cannot repay for it, then the bank repossesses the bank to get its money back. Or if you are purchasing property and you cannot repay it, the bank forecloses the loan and gets back its money. In most cases, loans with collateral as conditions come with lower interest because the lender has calculated all the risk and they know that if the borrower cannot make repayments, they have an asset that they can use as backup. The last C of credit that I'd like us to speak about is the conditions. What are the conditions for you borrowing the money? Thank you for joining me. Let's meet again next time when we speak about everything that pertains property. Goodbye.